The new alien secretary John never thought he'd work in an office that floated in space. But here he was stationed Delta 9, orbiting Saturn. He was just a human, doing boring reports for the Intergalactic Trade Council. Paperwork was the same. Across the galaxy, slow, annoying, endless. Today, something was different. John sat at his desk, sipping coffee from his old Earth mug, when the door opened with a soft whoosh. A tall, beautiful alien walked in. Her skin was smooth and silver blue, like moonlight on water. Her hair floated gently, as if touched by gravity only a little. She wore a clean white uniform with the badge of the Zenthari High Clans, a race known for calm minds, sharp intelligence, and zero emotions. Her name was Zenthari. She stepped forward and bowed her head slightly. "I am here to begin my position as your secretary," she said in a soft, emotionless voice. John stood up quickly, trying not to spill his coffee. "Oh, yes, welcome. You're the replacement for Greg?" "Yes," Greg was slow. "I am not," she replied without blinking. "Great," John muttered. "Well, you'll fit in just fine." Zenthari walked to her desk with perfect posture. She moved like she was floating, calm, controlled, quiet. Her fingers danced across the holoscreen, opening files faster than John had ever seen. "Wow," he whispered to himself. She might actually survive this job. For the next hour she didn't speak. She didn't ask questions. She just worked. Reports got done, messages sent, files cleaned up. She even fixed his broken coffee machine without looking up from her screen. John leaned back, impressed. "You're a machine," he said jokingly. "I am Zenthari," she replied flatly. "Machines make errors. I do not," John chuckled. "Okay then." After lunch, John returned to his office and found it spotless. Even his messy drawer was organized. Zenthari was standing beside his desk, staring at a small bottle in her hand. "What's this?" she asked. "That? Oh, just my cologne, Earth scent. Nothing fancy." Zenthari opened the cap. "Wait." John began, but it was too late. She sniffed and froze. Her eyes widened. Her blue skin changed to a light purple. Her lips parted slightly, and she dropped the bottle. It hit the floor, rolled under the desk. John blinked. Are you okay?" Zenthari didn't answer. She stood still like a statue. Her arms hung loose. Her head tilted to the side slowly. Then she whispered, "Strawberries." "What?" She shook her head fast, as if waking from a dream. "I must go. I need to run a system check." She turned and walked out of the room quickly, almost clumsily. John sat there, confused. That was weird. He picked up the cologne bottle and placed it back on the shelf. The room still smelled a little sweet and spicy. Nothing too strong. Just a regular scent. By the next day, things got even stranger. Zenthari showed up 5 minutes late, which was odd. Her species was famous for being early. She looked a little tired, and her usually perfect hair was slightly frizzy. "Good morning," John said. "Strawberries," she muttered. "What? I mean..." "Good morning," she corrected herself. Throughout the day, she made mistakes. Files got mixed. Names were spelled wrong. She called him Shiny once, and then acted like it didn't happen. When he leaned close to hand her a document, she leaned closer, too close. Their faces almost touched. "Are you feeling all right?" John asked. "I am." "Very functional," she said, blinking too fast. Then she stared at him for 10 full seconds. "UNBLINKING." John cleared his throat. "Okay then, back to work?" She nodded slowly, smiling for the first time. But the smile was wide, a bit too wide. That night John couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about her strange reaction. The way her skin changed color, the sudden clumsiness. The smile. He decided to search the station's database. He typed, "Zenthari emotional behavior." The screen showed, "Zenthari have no emotions. No known cases of emotional expression. Unchanged. For 3,000 years, that didn't help. He added one more word. Pheromones. Nothing came up. Just then, his communicator beeped. A message from Zenthari. I fixed your drawer again. You left a paperclip facing the wrong way. Also, your scent is very confusing. John stared at the message. My scent is what? He looked at the cologne bottle again. Maybe this was more than just perfume. Maybe something strange was happening. He didn't know it yet, but this was just the beginning. Weird behavior begins. Zenthari was humming. Not just humming a strange little tune with no rhythm, no beat. More like bleep blorp. As if a robot had swallowed a radio. John dropped his coffee mug. Zenthari didn't notice. She was spinning slowly in his office chair, staring at the ceiling like it had secrets to tell. This was not normal. Zenthari? He asked carefully. She stopped spinning. Her eyes focused on him like laser beams. Human John, she said, too loudly. Did you know your face is very round? John blinked. What? She nodded seriously. Round, soft, like a hovermelon. He raised one eyebrow. Okay, are you feeling all right? She tilted her head. I am feeling. Isn't that wonderful? Now he was sure something was wrong. Yesterday, Zenthari was like a quiet robot, perfect, fast, emotionless. But today, she'd accidentally filed a budget request under urgent pizza supply. She wore 2 different boots. And she kept giggling every time he walked past her desk. It was kind of terrifying. John stepped out of the room and tapped. His cum device. Station medbay. This is office 19. I think my new secretary has a virus, or she's high, or possessed. Possibly all 3. The voice on the other end was calm. Name of species? Zenthari. There was a pause. Then a long sigh. Please hold. Seconds later, an alien medical officer appeared on John's office screen. Big eyes, green skin, looked like a walking sea cucumber. Human, the alien doctor said. Explain the symptoms. John scratched his head. She's emotional, laughing, calling me shiny. She filed a stapler as a weapon permit. And she keeps sniffing me. The doctor leaned closer to the screen. Did you use any human scent chemicals? You mean cologne? Yeah, but just a little. Yesterday. The doctor's eyes widened. Oh no. Oh no, John repeated. That's never a good answer. You exposed a Zenthari female to unfiltered human pheromones. That scent acts like a neural trigger. It's extremely rare, but sometimes it causes a full emotional activation. John blinked. Wait, so you're telling me my secretary is emotionally drunk because I used cologne? In simple words, yes, the doctor nodded. She is experiencing feelings for the first time in her life. Her brain is not built for this. Anything can happen. Great, John muttered. So what do I do? Stay calm. Avoid close contact. Remove the cologne. And whatever you do, do not let her imprint on you. Imprint? What's that mean? But the screen went black. Connection lost. John slowly turned around and looked. Into the room, Zenthari was staring at him again with wide, shiny eyes and a dreamy smile. I wrote you a poem, she said. He froze. Oh no, she began to recite. Your voice is like space static. Your walk is mildly dramatic. My heart, wait, I found a heart? Wow, that's new, romantic. John backed away slowly. Okay, we're taking a break. He ran to the corridor and pressed the emergency lockdown button. The office door sealed shut with a hiss. Inside, Zenthari was still smiling. Romantic, she shouted through the glass. Also, what's a heart attack? John sighed, leaned against the wall, and muttered, This is going to be a long week. Just then, his cum beeped again. Another message from Zenthari. P.S. I borrowed your jacket. It smells like you. Also, I think I love coffee. Or maybe I love you. Still analyzing. John didn't know whether to laugh or scream. This was no ordinary office job anymore. Alien. Biology 101. John was hiding in the janitor's closet. Not because he was scared. Not exactly. But because his beautiful alien secretary was standing outside the door, singing about him in 5 different languages. Human John, my glowing star, I love your teeth, wherever they are. He covered his face with his hands. This wasn't happening, but it was. Zenthari, the calm, emotionless alien from the proud Zenthari species, was having a full-blown emotional meltdown because of his cologne, and worse. She was enjoying it. 2 hours earlier, John had marched into the med lab, slamming the door behind him. I need answers. Real ones, or I'm quitting and joining a moon cult. The alien medical officer, Dr. Kren, looked up. His body jiggled like jelly wearing a lab coat. Ah, human John, your secretary, is she still obsessed with you? Yes, she made me a sandwich out of printer paper and called it love toast. Dr. Kren sighed. Yes, it is worse than I feared. He motioned John to sit and pulled up a 3D model of a Zenthari brain on the screen. The Zenthari race, he began, has no emotional system. For thousands of years, they've removed all feelings from their biology. No fear, no joy. Love. Well, she sure found all of that this week. John snapped. The doctor nodded. Indeed. Because of you. John blinked. What? No, I didn't do anything. You wore human cologne, Kren explained. Zenthari have no scent defenses. Your pheromones entered her system through scent absorption. Her brain tried to block the signal, failed, and now. He tapped the screen. Zenthari's brain lit up like a party. She's emotionally activated. The doctor said, like a love robot with a virus? John asked. Exactly, Kren nodded. Except she's not a robot. And this is permanent. John stared. Wait, you mean she'll be like this forever? Unless she resets her neural pathways in time, yes. If she imprints on you, it becomes permanent. She form a life bond. John stood up fast. Okay, nope, we're stopping that. What do I do? You must avoid emotional triggers, Kren said. No compliments, no smiling. No direct eye contact for more than 6 seconds. And for the love of the stars. No hugging. John nodded. Got it. Be boring, be cold, be safe. Back in the office, John walked in like a robot, blank face. Flat voice. Good morning, he said without looking at her. Zenthari was upside down in his office chair, humming into a pencil. She flipped upright when she saw him. John, you returned. I thought maybe you joined the space circus. Or got eaten by a romantic black hole. Nope, still alive. Please sit down and do your work. She blinked, tilting her head. Your voice has changed. You sound like a sad toaster. That's fine. You're trying to act boring, she whispered. It's cute. He didn't answer. Just sat down and started typing. Zenthari suddenly stood beside him. Too close. I read a book about hugs, she said softly. Do you want one? I practiced on a filing cabinet. John jumped up, knocking over his chair. No. I mean no, thank you. She blinked again. You're very shiny when you panic. Before he could respond, the room lights flickered. An alert rang out from the station speaker. Security notice. Unauthorized pheromone. Release detected in Office Sector 9. Emotional contamination possible. John froze. That single quotes us, isn't it? Zenthari gasped dramatically. Did we just become a security threat? How romantic. John groaned. No, not romantic. Not even a little. Just dangerous. He grabbed a lab coat and threw it over her shoulders. Come on, we're going to the med lab, again. As they walked down the hallway, Zenthari kept poking buttons on the wall and naming them. That one makes a door. That one makes air. That one makes... You yell when I touch it. Stop touching things. John muttered. She stopped suddenly. John, what now? She looked serious for the first time all day. I don't know what's happening to me, she said. My brain feels hot. My heart exists. And when you smile, I want to melt into floor jelly. Is that normal? John looked at her, paused, and smiled a little. No, he said, but you're doing great. Her skin flashed pink. Oops, John muttered. That was a smile. That was a trigger, wasn't it? She nodded slowly. Yes, I think I just fell in love with your face again. And John said the only thing that came to mind. Crap. Containment protocols and a towel security, level 3. 1 human. 1 emotionally unstable alien. 1 cologne bottle. This wasn't a military report. It was John's office. And it had just been locked down by the space station's AI. The loud voice echoed through every hallway. Warning. Zenthari subject showing signs of chemical bonding. Possible cross-species imprinting detected. Initiating quarantine protocol. John stood frozen. Zenthari stood beside him, holding a potted plant. This plant is soft. Like you, she said, Dremily. John snatched the plant from her hands. Zenthari, please. No more comparisons. No more hugs. No more poetry. She tilted her head. Are you stressed again? Your neck vein is dancing. Before he could answer, a metal barrier slammed down outside his office door. Locked in. Trapped with a lovesick alien who had no idea what boundaries meant. An hour later. John paced the room while Zenthari sat calmly on his desk, building a tiny sculpture out of pens, paper clips, and a stapler. I made us a friendship statue, she said proudly. It looks like a screaming spider, John muttered. Zenthari beamed. Yes, symbolic, he sighed. The eye wouldn't lift the lockdown until Zenthari was confirmed emotionally neutral. Which, at this point, felt impossible. She had tried to braid his hair with USB cords. She rewired the coffee machine to play romantic music. And now, she was building office art that looked like it wanted to attack him. John pressed the emergency intercom. Med Bay, come in. This is John from Office 19. I am emotionally under siege. The doctor's voice answered, deadpan. Still breathing? Barely. Then you're fine. Click. Then things got worse. The air filter let out a puff. Standard sanitation cycle. Zenthari sniffed the air, slowly. Then her pupils dilated. Oh no, John said. She jumped off the desk. You changed your scent again. It's even stronger now, rich, complex, like space chocolate with secrets. I didn't do anything, John yelled, backing into the wall. Zenthari's skin flashed bright pink. You did everything. She took a deep breath, eyes glowing with some new emotion John didn't have a name for. Then she whispered, we must bond now. For battle, WH8. 10 minutes later. Security bots opened the quarantine door. They scanned the room with red lasers, weapons ready. Inside, they found no one, just a single note taped to the wall. We have gone to claim our destiny. Do not follow. Also, your soap smells like sadness. Z and J, meanwhile. In a janitor tunnel. John crawled through the narrow metal duct, wearing a maintenance jacket. His tie was missing, and his face had coffee stains. Behind him crawled Zenthari, holding a towel like a cape. Why do you have my towel again? John asked. It smells like you, she replied. And I read in a romance guide that Earth heroes wear capes, he groaned. That was not a guide. That was a comic book, Zenthari smiled. I like fiction. It's full of feelings. They reached a small exit hatch. John peered out. Okay, I think we can make it to the cargo bay. I've got a friend there who owes me a favor. Maybe we can hide you till this wears off. Zenthari tapped his shoulder. This won't wear off, John. I'm Zenthari. Once my brain bonds, it's forever. He stared at her. Forever? He repeated. She nodded. Unless I choose otherwise, which I won't. John opened the hatch and paused. Great. I'm being hunted by station security, hiding in a vent, and possibly married by alien science. Zenthari touched his hand. Technically, we're only battle-mated. Marriage comes after the traditional dance of panic. John climbed out of the vent. I'm already dancing. Escape Plan Beta. John had faked a lot of things in life. Confidence, deadlines, interest in budget meetings, but pretending to be in love with his alien secretary while escaping space station security. That was a new one. They were sitting in a supply cart, dressed like space janitors. Zenthari wore his jacket, his towel cape, and a smile that said this is the best day of her life. John wore panic. Okay, he whispered, adjusting his fake mustache. Here's the plan. We roll quietly through the docking hallway. No eye contact, no drama, no romance. Zenthari blinked. But I brought props. She held up a bouquet made of noodles and printer ribbon. John stared. Why? For realism. She said proudly. I read that couples often hold unusual objects in stressful situations. It's called bonding chaos. That's not a thing. She smiled. It is now. The plan was simple. Get to Bay 7, find his friend Tycho, escape. They rolled forward. In silence. For 5 seconds. Then Zenthari leaned in and whispered, You smell like rebellion today. Not now, John muttered. They passed a guard. The bot scanned them. State your duty, the bot said. John cleared his throat. Janitor shift, sector mop team, we clean sadness. The bot paused. Proceed, Zenthari waved cheerfully. We also clean emotional messes. John elbowed her. Stop talking. They moved on. Bay 7, cargo deck. Tycho was waiting. A short alien with 6 arms, glowing eyes, and a bad attitude. John, Tycho hissed. Why are you dressed like a broken romance novel? Long story. I need a ride off this station. Tycho looked at Zenthari. She the reason you're glowing like a heat lamp? John nodded. She's emotionally attached. I see. You brought drama into my hangar. I brought lunch, Zenthari said, offering the ribbon noodle bouquet. Tycho blinked all 6 eyes. I like her, John groaned. Don't encourage this. A twist. Zenthari was getting smarter. She'd stopped acting completely random and started strategizing. She'd reprogrammed the station's sensors to block her ID. She'd faked a love certificate. Apparently, they were officially bonded under Zenthari worship law. She even hacked the romantic holiday calendar and declared today Shared Soul Day. This isn't love, John said as Tycho's ship started warming up. This is space. Madness, Zenthari leaned on his shoulder. Madness. Shared is madness halved. That's in a book. No, it's not. I wrote it just now. Just as they were about to board the ship. The station, AI, crackled on every speaker. Attention, emotional hazard confirmed. Subject Zenthari classified as Class C pheromone. Disturbance. Immediate capture authorized. Tycho muttered, Great, you made the station fall in love too. Zenthari looked serious. We need a distraction, John whispered. What are you thinking? She grinned. Something dramatic. He froze. Zenthari, no. She stepped forward, raised both arms, and shouted, I declare human John my mate. Touch him and I will release all my feelings. Every bot in the room backed away. One even powered. Down in fear. John turned to Tycho. Start the ship, now. Inside the ship. They blasted out of the bay. Alarms blaring behind them. John dropped into the co-pilot seat. Panting, Zenthari sat beside him, fixing her towel cape. We escaped. She said cheerfully. Barely, he groaned. I like space adventures, she said. They make my heart do the electric wiggle. I don't know what that means. It means I like you, John. He looked at her, tired but smiling. You're lucky I like chaos. She smiled wide. That means we're soul compatible. I checked the chart. John leaned back, watching stars stretch across the window, and somewhere deep down, A tiny part of him didn't mind anymore. Double trouble pheromones. John woke up floating, not in a dream, literally floating off the floor. Gravity's off again, he muttered. Nope, Zenthari said, holding a spoon like a magic wand. I turned gravity to 30% because you look cute when you hover. He sighed and grabbed a ceiling pipe. They were now fugitives on Tico's smuggling ship, somewhere between Saturn orbit and intergalactic disaster. But instead of hiding quietly, Zenthari had decorated the cabin with space, glitter and glue stick hearts. She had even renamed the ship. Welcome aboard. The SS Love Leakage. John hated it here, and worse, he was starting to enjoy it. Something weird was happening. To him. At first, it was small stuff. He laughed too hard at Zenthari's bad jokes. He started finishing her sentences, accidentally, and last night, he had a dream about holding hands. With extra fingers. Zenthari, he said over breakfast. I think I might be broken, she gasped. You're finally evolving. No, I'm freaking out. I just made a spreadsheet and sorted it by feelings. Zenthari clapped like a happy robot. You're syncing with my pheromones. I don't want to sink, but he was. And fast. He went to the ship med bay. Tycho scanned him. Yep, Tycho said. You're infected. I'm what? Tycho pointed to the brain scan. Your emotional centers are glowing like a disco moon. Zenthari pheromones mutated your brainwaves. You two are chemically linked now. John sat down. So now I'm the one with feelings? Correct. And they're only going to get stronger. John groaned. What happens next? Tycho shrugged. Some humans cry. Some sing. One guy started painting moons with hearts on them. Depends how dramatic you are. John rubbed his eyes. This is a nightmare. Zenthari peeked in, holding 2 mugs. I brought you emotional support tea. Tycho whispered. It's just hot water with sparkles. The side effects got weirder. John started sensing Zenthari's emotions. From across the ship, when she blushed, he sneezed. When she giggled, his heartbeat did a salsa rhythm. And once, during a nap, he dreamed of her organizing files and woke up smiling. The worst part? He didn't hate it anymore. One quiet evening, John and Zenthari sat watching stars. Silence. Then John said, You know, this link, it's not all bad. Zenthari looked surprised. You said it was a mind trap. It is a mind trap, John said, but a weirdly soft one. Like a warm blanket with teeth. She tilted her head. Is that a compliment? I think so, she smiled. You're glowing again. He touched his cheeks. Oh no. That's emotional radiation, isn't it? She nodded. Very romantic. John looked at her, glowing skin, soft smile, eyes full of chaos. He sighed. We're doomed, aren't we? Zenthari leaned her head on his shoulder. Probably. But at least we'll be doomed together. Suddenly, the alarm blared. Incoming ship detected. Flag, Zenthari High Command. Prepare for contact. John jumped up. Wait, the Zenthari government found us? Zenthari stood tall, serious for once. They're coming for me. I broke bonding laws. I'm not allowed to feel emotions. I'm a glitch in their system. And what happens if they take you back? I'll be reset. John's eyes widened. They'll erase your feelings? Yes, she whispered. Including everything about you. He stared at her. And for the first time, without panic or confusion, John said, No, not happening. Zenthari blinked. Why? Because humans don't erase love, he said, heart thumping. We fight for it, she gasped. John, you're infected with romance. He nodded. Fully. My alien secretary, my battlemat. The first shot wasn't fired by lasers. It was fired by Zenthari's towel. She stood proudly in the docking bay, towel cape fluttering like a flag of war. John stood beside her, clutching a data tablet that said, Absolutely not in love, probably, on the cover. Facing them was the Towering flagship of the Velari High Command, glowing silver, sharp like a knife built from rules and silence. From its stepped 3 emotionless figures, tall, blue, cold-eyed, dressed in perfect robes. Faces like stone. The lead one spoke in a flat voice. Zenthari, daughter of the minefield, you have violated Article 7 of the Velari Code. You formed an emotional bond with a human. Zenthari raised her chin. Correct, I have laughed. I have cried. I have cuddled. Gasped silent ones. You will return. Be memory wiped. Feelings removed. Order restored. John stepped forward. No. The 3 Velari turned their heads. You do not speak here. John raised the tablet. Actually, I do. According to Galactic Union Article 42b, cross-species bondings must be honored if consented by both parties. They blinked. You read the fine print? I'm a middle manager, he said. Reading fine print is my only superpower. Zenthari looked at him, shocked. You're fighting for me? John smiled awkwardly. I'm not great at feelings. I still don't know if I'm in love or just chemically confused. But I know this. He turned to the Velari Council. She's the best assistant I've ever had, the best chaos I've ever met, and the only person who made me file reports with joy. That's either love or magic, and I'm keeping her. Zenthari gasped. You chose me. I think I did, he said. Somewhere between the singing, the paperclip poems, and you hugging the vending machine because it smelled like me, then. The final twist. Zenthari stepped forward. No need for fighting. I have updated my contract. She held up a digital screen. The Velari read it. I, Zenthari of Clan Minefield, officially resign from my species' emotionless order. I request transfer to the Human Chaos Bureau. John blinked. That's not a real department. I made it up, she said. It's real now. One Velari raised an eyebrow. You are serious? Zenthari reached out and held John's hand. Her skin glowed purple. His face turned slightly pink. The air filled with low-frequency humming. Look, she said, emotional resonance. We're sensed. They all stared in silence. Then, surprisingly, the lead Velari nodded once. So be it. You are no longer Velari. You are other. That's my favorite kind, she said cheerfully. The ship turned and silently left. No war, no lasers, just acceptance. Later. On Earth. John now worked at the Intergalactic Embassy for Emotional Intelligence. His assistant, still Zenthari, now wore Earth sunglasses and a shirt that said, Feelings happen. She'd rewritten the office policy manual to include mandatory compliments on Mondays, emergency dance breaks on Thursdays, flirting with HR rules, just in case. John sat at his desk, sipping Earth coffee. Zenthari floated in, holding a new towel. This one smells like adventure, she said. He smiled. You're still weird. She winked. You love it. John looked at her. Battlemate, chaos bringer, love glitch, and nodded. Double quotes, yeah. I think I really do.